This is Naima Funk. Check me out at naimafunk.com. And you're listening to Some Guy Named Jay, the podcast.
Thank you for choosing the SNL Fan Podcast. And I'm your host, just some guy named Jay, like I normally am. And in this installment of the SNL Fan Podcast, we're not even going to talk about SNL on this one. I bet you're thinking, what? This is the SNL Fan Podcast, and you're not going to talk about SNL. So what is this about? Why'd I click this link? Well, basically, what I'm doing, Vibes Live, along with myself here at Too Good for Radio, we are putting together an audio sketch comedy show. Yeah, that will air on Vibes Live's live stream. You know, Vibes Live is a 24-hour live stream with lots of different segments on it. And we're producing a sketch comedy show, an audio-based sketch comedy show that will air on Vibes Live. And right now we're putting together a cast of, of different individuals who have different voices. They can do impressions, they can do different characters, things like that. And we're still looking to build the cast. We already have a couple of people that we're going to have on the show, but we'd like to have some more. And basically right now we're just looking for anybody who wants to cooperate. We're not going to be too picky. I mean, as long as if you're just terrible, then I guess we're going to have to pass on you. But if you have some talent that we can work with, and have a different voice, than what we already have in the cast, then we'll definitely welcome you on board. Basically, what you have to do the only thing you have to do to audition is send us an MP3 of what you can do. It has to be 5 minutes or less. You can do in that 5 minutes. You can do anything you want. You can sing. You can do characters, impressions, tell jokes. Just something to let us know that, okay, well, this person has some talent that we could work with. It doesn't matter if you're a voice actor, actress, comedian, doesn't matter. If you have a unique voice and you can change it up, do different dialects, different impressions, you can sound differently, things like that. We definitely want to test you out. What else I'd like to say? Yeah. You send that MP3 to PodcastsOnDemand at yahoo.com. I'm going to put that in the information box below, so you can email the MP3 just to that address. If you have any questions about the show before you submit anything, you're welcome to ask us anything. You can email me or email us at PodcastsOnDemand at yahoo.com, or you can send me a private message, and here on YouTube. And any questions you have, I'll be more than happy to answer that. What else I'd like to say? We're also looking for more writers too. We have a few people that can submit sketch ideas, but we're always looking for new content. So if you'd like to be a part of if you'd like to write for the show or write for the sketch comedy audio sketch comedy podcast, just email us again at PodcastsOnDemand at yahoo.com, and we'll talk about it and see what we could do. Also, like I said, it has to be an MP3 form. It can't be any of these QuickTime media things or any of these other little files. It has to be in an MP3. All right? Because once you're selected for the cast, you're going to be sending us MP3s anyway. You're going to be sending us your part, your parts of the sketches, so we can edit it up. And it has to be an MP3 form. So if you have a hard time sending MP3s, then you might as well not even try, because you're going to be sending us MP3s on the regular. If you're selected to be in the cast. So that's going to be part of what we need. So if you can't send us MP3s, don't even bother. Also, if you can't record on a regular basis, like you don't have access to be able to record your voice and just send it, that you just stay at home. Don't send us anything either, because we're going to definitely need somebody who has the capabilities to record. If it's not, as long as it's not hissing and static in it, we can work with it. We can kind of engineer it and edit it up. So if it's decent sound quality, we can work with you. But for the most part, it has to be quality. You have to be able to just record whenever we need you to. Also, if you're selected to be in the cast, it's not something that you're going to spend hours of your day on. It's not something that you're going to spend doing 5, times a week on, and nothing like that. I know we all have day jobs. We all have things we have to do. We all have personal lives. We all have families. So, well, I mean, even if you don't have families, we all have our, our priorities, So, I'm not expecting, this is not something that you're going to have to be doing 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is something that, it'd probably take, 30 minutes or an hour of your time, to knock out your parts of the sketch and then email it back to us so we can edit it up for the sketch. So if you're saying, well, I'm a single mom, or, oh, well, I have a job and this and that, and, I also go to school and I also volunteer at the church and also, go to space every Saturday. Look. It doesn't take too much of your time. If you already come with excuses, you're not in the cast. We're not going to do anything to accommodate you. We're not going to do anything. Well, we like you, but you know what? You can send us a WAV file every once a month. And no, that's not going to happen. You got to follow the rules. You got to be able to do what we need, and what we need is not that hard. Another thing I want to say. We're looking for people who just basically want to get themselves out there. Really have a weekly platform to perform, and you're going to already have an audience because Vibes Live Radio has a built-in audience that just checks out everything. That just runs the live stream. When they're at work. Or when they're in the shower, they're playing Vibes Live, or when they're in the car, on their iPhones and things like on their smartphones, Androids, whatever, they're playing Vibes Live. So there's Vibes Live has tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of listeners in and out, all over the globe, even in Europe, parts of Australia, Asian countries. They're listening. So. So don't think that this is something that is something you're going to be doing in vain. People are going to check you out from this, and and also once the cast is built, we're also going to do some marketing and promotions for it as well. Oh yeah, and also if you're looking at Too Good for Radio and you're kind of seeing the subscribers here and you're kind of seeing the numbers that some of these podcasts do, don't let that discourage you, because Vibes Live is a bigger platform than Too Good for Radio. I just want to let you know. So. If you have any other questions, again, email us at PodcastsOnDemand@yahoo.com. What else I like to say? And again, send in your MP3s, 5 minutes or less. Let us know what you can do. And, okay, that's all I like to say. I'm just some guy named Jay, and that's news to me.